Hey, how's it going? It's Harrison Burns, the Grieving Teens here again. And today I'm interviewing a service member. Canaan, would you go ahead and give me your name, age, the school you attended, the year you graduated, and what you're currently doing with your life, just so the audience knows a little bit about you?
Awesome. My name is Canaan, Kenneth Wilhelmsson-Haack. I'm 25 now. I went to Palm Desert High School, graduated in 2013, and now I'm a staff sergeant in the Air Force.
Well, Canaan, first question I need to know right off the bat is how did you get introduced to Grieving Teens, the grief groups at Palm Desert High School? How did you get introduced to Tom Morris? Was it a friend, a parent, a teacher that recommended you? How did it all get started?
So it was actually a teacher that recommended me, and meeting Tom, I'm not positive if it happened first at church or if it's just a coincidence that we were already going to the same church. But I met him and got to go through the grief program with him through a teacher at Palm Desert High School.
Okay. So why did you initially start attending? What was like your first initial push towards that? Was there a particular reason? Were you feeling just a buildup and you needed to talk? What was going on?
Yeah, so when I was 12 years old, my grandfather passed away. And, you know, I struggled pretty hard with it for the next couple years after that. And I think I was 15. I may have still been 14 when I started. Pretty sure it was the beginning of sophomore year. And yeah, one of my teachers, I guess, just noticed that something had been off, and I had been struggling a bit, just you know, thinking about not having my grandfather around and all of that stuff. I had never really gone through the process to get over it, and I guess it had kind of just resurfaced, and it was something that had been on my mind. And a teacher noticed that I was a bit off and talked with me about it, and I felt comfortable enough with her that I told her what was going on, and she recommended the program to me, and I got to go meet Tom. And yeah, he was naturally, I wasn't interested in like doing this program, because it it was something that was really personal to me, and that I felt really nervous about sharing with other people. But when I met Tom and we started like going through my feelings and like the relationship that I had with my grandfather, which was excellent. Um, it was difficult to do, but I had never felt so comfortable opening up to somebody before, you know. So yeah, that was sort of my introduction to the program, and I really appreciated Tom and his level of understanding to how difficult of a situation it was for me to be trying to open up like that.
So do you think that the grief group gave you the tools and the know-how to utilize for other things that would happen later on in life? Did it give you the strength to kind of carry on and understanding of yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are a lot of um, I don't know, sort of base level introspection skills, if I could say that I learned from the program. I uh, I think that because most of what it was just us opening up, having conversations, talking about how we felt or experiences that we had, different things like that. And I think in so simple a process, we were able to, like, it was just an area where we could kind of think more inwardly than you usually would in a conversation with somebody, because a lot of the time I really felt like if I was upset about something, or if I was, especially something heavy like that, if there was something that was really grieving me, and I wouldn't want to talk about it, I would want to steer the conversation away from that, or I would, like my whole life had been developing tools to steer conversations away from things like that. Whereas through the program, I learned tools for steering the conversation comfortably in that direction, and using those conversations to learn more about myself, and also as a tool to allow other people to explore the way that they're really feeling and what's going on with them.
Of course, I agree wholeheartedly. In fact, from personal experience as well as seeing secondhand change in other people. A big question, though, is this something that you would recommend to others who might be going through something or who might even be watching this right now? Do you have anything to say to them, or do you think that they should reach out and help themselves? What do you think?
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend it to anybody who's, struggling through life stuff in general. It doesn't have to be something extremely serious, but I would say, even if it is something extremely serious, even more so, that Tom's skill in like sensitivity, I think for me, like this was an issue that had been affecting my life for years, and for a lot of people, it's these are really deep issues that a lot of people really struggle with, and at no point in the process did I feel uncomfortable. And I think that anybody, no matter what they're going through, should be open to give this a shot, because it's a life-changing experience, and the whole purpose of it is to go at whatever pace you feel comfortable with. So if there are certain things you don't feel like sharing, or something you don't want to say, or anything like that, nobody's going to pressure you into it. The whole purpose is to put you in an environment where you feel comfortable to discuss those things, where it's, everything that happens there just stays between you, and you're all allowed to kind of explore your own thoughts together.
It kind of breaches that whole group therapy session in such a way that it doesn't make you feel like somebody's trying to pry too hard. And I think that was one of the biggest things that since I've interviewed multiple other people, and they've all said something very, very similar to you, how the group allows for such a setting in which other people can, like you said, go at their own pace, and they don't feel pressured to share or overshare. And Tom doesn't pry either. And I think that's one of the biggest blessings for people, it shows other people that they're not alone. And the similarities between situations are also people who have gone through something that might be similar to it. There's a level of understanding and openness that's shared in such a confidential way that it makes for a setting, and it makes for a experience unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I'm sure you can attest the same.
Yeah, that's huge. So what you touched on with being there with a bunch of other people that are all going through the same thing, that I think was the biggest part of it, was that you are there with a bunch of other people who have all gone through their own unique issues, and that obviously aren't super excited to be talking about it, and to see them feel comfortable enough in this environment to open up, it makes it feel so much more real than, like, for example, I when I was younger, I had also gone to like a one-on-one therapy session or whatever a few times, and the huge difference about this setting is when you go to like a one-on-one therapy session, that person isn't saying, this is my life and this is what I'm struggling with. The focus is all on you. Like, we're trying to extract information from you and get to the deeper whatever. Whereas in this setting, it feels like a a community goal to try and like lift each other up, and each of us is putting in our own part to it, you know?
Agreed, absolutely. I actually just have one final question for you, and it's, do we have your permission to use your testimony and your story to support grieving teens in a professional capacity?
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate you asking even.
Yeah.
And I think that this is an amazing program, a life-changing program. Yeah. This
can't praise it enough.
Yeah, this program and Tom meant everything to me in my early teen years, and the lessons that I learned have been, you know, the foundations on which I've built my mental health in my adulthood. So I I agree.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your service, by the way.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. But well said. I appreciate it. Have a good one, brother.
Thanks a lot, brother. Have a great rest of your day.